Now imagine if we have, let's say, if we want to implement multiple endpoints, as we will have multiple features in the app, for example, sign in endpoint, and let's say edit account endpoint, product categories endpoint, and search endpoint. For example, different endpoints we will have, multiple endpoints we will have in the future when we will implement our project. So we have to keep the code clean and organized. So for that purpose, let's create a new folder. You can give it name as routes or endpoints, or we can give it the both names like routes underscore endpoints, because some people call it routes, some people call it endpoints. So we will give it name as routes underscore endpoints. And inside the routes underscore endpoints folder, inside it we will create a new file, and it will be by the name auth.js. So for example, the endpoints, or you can say the routes for the sign in and for the sign up, we will implement inside this auth.js. Let's say in the future we will have, let's say, for editing profile or for categories or for products, let's say if we have multiple other endpoints or other routes, we will implement it inside this folder routes underscore endpoints. So let's say it will be by the name profile.js, category.js, product.js, user.js. So for each route or for each endpoint, we will have a separate .js file. So by this, like this, we can keep the code clean and organized. As we have a separate auth.js file, for example, for the sign in and sign up, and that we will implement inside the auth.js. So on each root.js file, first we have to make sure that we at the top of the page we must required, or you can say include, the express, that is const express require express. Now we will define the router, for example express dot router, and as you know that, for example, this one is for this router is, let's say, for example, for the sign up and sign in. So as a whole, you know, it is related to authentication. So we will give it a proper name like auth router. So we initialize the express router by the name auth router, and using auth router, now we can get the response from the server, for example, in the same way just like we did here. So I will simply copy this from here, and of course you can remove it from here, we don't need it here. Okay, we already keep the code clean by creating separate routes folder inside which we will implement all our routes or all routers. So anyways, now I paste it here like this, and using our auth router, we can say auth router dot get. Now we have to make this auth router available, and in order to make it available, we have to export it by simply saying module dot exports the auth router. As it is exported here, the next thing is we have to import here as well. So right after the require express, we can simply import it by simply saying const auth router equals to require, and we require auth.js, which is inside the folder routes underscore endpoints. So we have to provide the exact name, which is and underscore endpoints dot slash, that is inside our project backend Amazon clone. In here we have the folder by the name routes underscore endpoints, and under that folder we have our auth.js root. So we have to provide that name, which is auth, and there is no need to write the extension .js. Okay, just /auth. So make sure to include it on the index.js file. So we require this auth root on our main index.js. Now on the index.js, using the middleware, you can say using the middleware we have to register our this auth router. So on the index.js file, so currently, as you know, we have only one auth.js route, so we have to register here using the middleware, you can say. So we will say application dot use and then our router name, which is auth router. Close the server, close the terminal by clicking delete icon. And here I commit a small mistake. The folder name is roots underscore endpoints. Okay, by mistake I forgot and I just write end underscore endpoints. So it is roots underscore endpoints in which we have auth file. Okay, so please make sure that you write the correct folder name and as well as the path. So anyway, now let's save all and let's start running the server. Server is running on port 4000. So now let's test our application. Our endpoint name is sign up endpoint. So here you can see